Okay, so we are going to look at how to create dancing teeth. So the first step is to find an appropriate image of a face. So does anyone have a suggestion? Is that Steph Curry? Basketball player? Okay, so let's look for his face. Okay, this should probably be a good one. Oh, there's some kind of thing on his face there. Let's see. Is this him? This isn't him? Who is this guy? That's him. Okay, someone did something weird with that. Okay, so here he is. So for this dancing teeth, ideally you have a head-on picture of your person, and we can kind of erase his teeth and put in new eyes and stuff anyway. So this should be fine. So let me view image, and I'm just going to save that image to, where's this folder here? Okay, I'm just going to save it on my desktop. You can save it in your folder. It doesn't really matter after we've imported it, so just save it somewhere. Okay, the next step is to import, file import to stage, okay, or you can press Control R, that's your shortcut. Okay, and it's thinking here. Okay, so I did have a folder somewhere here called tutorial images. There it is. Okay, so here's Stephen Curry, or Steph Curry as some people call him. Now this image is way too big. I'm going to hit Control minus just to zoom out, and I can actually transform this down. Okay. He's much bigger than my stage, but I'm just going to focus on his face anyhow, so that's fine. Now my next step is to trace the bitmap. Okay, so this is the big step that you've been waiting for. So we make sure our image is selected, modify, bitmap, trace bitmap. Okay, and if you hit preview, you can see what that's going to look like. So you see it kind of made it cartoony. You can play around with these settings, so the lower number you pick, let's see what happens. The more detailed it is, the higher number, the less detailed it is, okay? I wouldn't recommend doing anything lower than about 30 because the computer probably won't be able to handle it. Okay, so why don't we stick with this setting here. Now that I've traced this bitmap, I can actually erase this image just like anything that I've drawn in Flash. Okay, and actually I can select this whole background and delete it. Okay, so I'm just going to select, maybe from here, delete that, and then why don't I resize the rest of the face. Oops. Okay, so my next step is to erase his eyes and his teeth. So this isn't for the faint of heart here. If you really like this guy, you might want to close your eyes. Okay, so it's almost like we're turning him into a mask. It's like kind of something out of a horror movie, I think. Okay, yeah, I can make, I mean, his lip there is, I don't want to get rid of his lip completely, so maybe what I'll do is I'll just, with the lasso, select that lip, and then just drag it down. There we go. Okay, and you can kind of clean it up a bit. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to select this F8, make that a symbol. I'm going to call this face. Okay, there we go. So there's his face. It's actually very creepy. And I'm going to just call this layer face. Now what we can do from here is add another layer. Let me make eyes. Well, I'll call this left eye. Okay. Now, let's see what I can do here. So for the eye, I can just use an oval tool and maybe Now just for fun, I'm going to give him a red eye. Oops. Okay, and let me just click on that layer that I've created on. So I'm going to convert that to a symbol. I'm going to call it I. So there we go. And I can create another one called right eye. And by the way, I'm using like, stage left and stage right because, technically this would be his right eye. Okay, so I'll drag an eye in for the right eye. And what we want to do is we want to drag those two layers that I've created underneath the face, because like I said, the face is kind of like a mask. Okay, so now these eyes are underneath. So what I can actually do, let me just extend this face layer all the way to 100, because that's how long I want it to be. So I'll just right click on 100, insert frame. And then I can create a motion tween on the eye. So I can make it move this way. And then let me insert another frame here. Then I can make it move this way. And so on. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm inserting frames and extending my motion tween. Okay, so I'll do the same with this one too. And actually I'll just drag this all the way out here. And then I can just reposition my, my timeline, my red line here, and then drag this around wherever I want it. And because this is kind of a cartoon, the eyes don't really have to match up like normally your eyes move together. But not this guy. Oops. Okay. So again, I'm sorry if you're a big fan of this guy. Okay, so that's the eyes. For the teeth, basically you're doing the same thing, but we have 8 teeth, right? So, well, we have more than 8 teeth, but this guy will have 8 teeth. So I'm going to call this tooth 1, and you want to name your layers tooth 1 through tooth 8. Okay, and for the teeth, I can just make a rectangle. I'm going to give him some nice yellow chiclets here. And actually, what I want to do, let me just insert a new symbol, call this tooth, and I'll just make that a tooth there. Okay, let's drag that in. It's a bit big. Okay, and I'll drag that underneath the face layer again, because the face is going to act as his mask. And now this tooth can move freely up and down. You can make it do a little dance, maybe play a bit of peekaboo. Whatever you guys want to do with that tooth. Okay, so I just created a motion tween on that tooth, and I'll just show you. I can make it like, pop up. And by the way, if I want to access this, this tooth, it's underneath the face, so I'm just going to bring that tooth layer up top here so I can animate it first. I'm going to grab the free transform tool. I can actually make the tooth rotate. Okay, so you can do all sorts of things. Let's make it rotate this way. And then why don't we make it like, scrunch up and then turn and then skew or something. I'll drag that underneath. Okay, so what I have right now is he's got one tooth. The tooth is kind of dancing. Okay, so you'll end up with 8 teeth and 2 eyes. If you want to make any other additions, that's totally up to you, but this is kind of what I'm looking for. So you're making a bit of an animated face. Okay. On the dancing teeth, on Conrad Pooh, he actually had his jaw moving up and down. So if you want to go the extra mile, make his jaw move up and down, it's totally up to you. Okay.